not exactly, I don't know, desolate, deserted. Not exactly deserted. But, you know, this is the high part of summer, and this is a desirable spot, so we'll make sure that everything works out okay here. We will be headed out from the very popular anchorage of Covered Portage today, headed over to Killarney, out into Georgian Bay, and into the very narrow and somewhat scary Collins Inlet. Thanks for joining me. That Catalina 47 is a sweetheart. And they're rigged for the ocean, it looks like. I mean, they could go anywhere with that boat. I picked up this dink from West Marine because I had so many points, it didn't cost me anything. And I got the Mercury 9.9 used. So I'm into this little vehicle pretty cheaply. And it gets me miles and miles when I anchor out in more remote places. I'm pretty happy with it. This is kind of crowded and very busy Killarney, which is popular enough to have its own resort. You'll see. We have landed. Semi-legal. It was an easy place for me to unload the bike. I could pull the dink underneath this bridge and then just lift the bike up onto this walkway. So this is a public walkway to some resort. The Mountain Lodge Resort, I think is what they call it, Killarney Mountain Lodge. So I think I'm pretty safe here for now. I'll leave the bike here tonight and I'll come and get it in a day or two. Welcome to Killarney. This watercraft is moving people from a Great Lakes cruise ship. They're just shuttling people all over the place here. Wow. That Viking cruise ship is quite a scow. I can't say that it's beautiful. They are going to allow me to work out here, so I'm happy about that. If you are planning on making a trip up into the North Channel and you're going to bring along people who aren't used to being on a sailboat for long periods of time, you'll probably want to plan a trip into Killarney where they can get off the boat, take a break, sit next to the pool, and sip cool drinks. It's got a bit of a dirty dancing sort of appeal to it. I like the cabins. Cabins are cool. This is the Canada House where the workout facility is. It's impressive, most impressive. Oh, you can chit-chat all you want. I'm going to edit away. Chit-chat all you want. Ren gets to chit-chat. We want him to chit-chat all he wants.
Okay, so
loves to talk.
you brought up the North Channel.
North Channel.
Yeah.
And you and I think, feel similar that it compares favorably to the Bahamas. Ren and Michelle have way more ocean sailing experience than me, and they're big promoters of the finest sailing catamaran made, St. Francis.
I say it's parallel to the Bahamas, but if you really want to know, nothing will touch the North Channel.
I made a good choice coming here. I'm so glad I put that boat on a truck. Which you may recall I did to avoid hurricane season and missing a summer of sailing.
Greenery is magnificent. We just finished a hike.
Yeah.
And blueberry picking up at Covered Portage.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. And I love swimming, but I've got to say that lake swimming is unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's great.
I'm Canadian and American. I have both.
Yeah.
I love both countries, but there's something about being a tourist here. Canadians are just, it's amazing.
They're so friendly.
They're friendly, they're kind. Everybody's chill up here.
Hey, the people and places are great in the Bahamas. We're just saying the vibe up here is good too. All right, folks, it's official. We are in bear country. I had to come over here and see why I can't fly my drone. This is it, the local airport. You wondered where it was. Now you know. The Batcopter lives in Killarney, Ontario. Killarney is certainly resorty with the Sportsman's Marina as well as the Mountain Lodge, but it's pretty basic in other ways too. Pontoon boats are used to move people from one side of the channel to the other. Yeah. One of the hikes I missed in the area was at Marianne's Cove, but my friends at Saltless Shakedowns did make that trip, and I'll link that video in the description. Take a look. the Dalmatian side from the new dink paint smearing on the boat. Anchor looks good, bridle looks good. Fun stuff. They do a good job here. Getting out into Georgian Bay, I had to cut through Killarney before heading back out into the vastness of the Great Lakes and over to Collins Inlet. We're at Collins Inlet, just east of Killarney, contemplating if this is as far as I go. I was thinking about Perry Sound, but this may be enough. We'll see. I didn't know then that in a couple hours, that decision was going to be made for me. Getting a little skinny here in Collins Inlet. But the place is just gorgeous. Such remarkable rock formations. I mean, I don't know how many adjectives I can use for beautiful or remarkable, but sorry if I keep using the same ones over again, but it is gorgeous. I have a problem. My anchor isn't working. I made it halfway through Collins Inlet and planned to anchor in Mill Lake, but if I couldn't bring up the anchor, I didn't want to drop it. There's some kind of a short between the, I don't know, there's a short in the switch down below. There's a switch I have to hit, I'll show you, to make my anchor work, and it's not operating. A red light should come on when I hit the switch. I don't want to drop anchor. I could get it up, but it's a lot of work. I could have also herniated a disc trying. Yes, I've done it before. Well, I'm in a remote spot. No anchor's a drag. I'm inclined on a day when the wind isn't so bad to try to get back to Little Current. Take care of repairs there. This may be as far as I go. We'll see. I took out the two hot legs for the switch and bolted them together. We'll see if that works, eh? We'll see if it's the switch or something else, but that just actuates the solenoid for the anchor windlass. That will get us by for now, but I need a new switch, and it's an old piece of equipment, so we'll see, but at least it's operable. I'll tape it up and I guess use it sparingly until I can get a good switch for it. I think there's a chance that I could burn up something that normally would get interrupted by the switch. It's like a breaker, right? Yeah, well, it took a few tools and a few tries. Fortunately, there's an old-time artisan sailor here who loaned me his tester so I could make sure I could figure out how to resolve my issue. Welcome to Killarney Marine and Rigging. Unfortunately, I couldn't get a new switch there, and I had to go to Little Current to Boyles Marine. Thank you, Brian. Brian talked to me on the horn before I ever even got here, so that when I got here, he had already dug through his toolbox and gotten the part that I needed. Thank you, Brian Boyle at Boyle Marine in Little Current, Ontario.
Thank you.
Making new friends in the North Channel and throughout the region is pretty easy. I met so many kind people who were so good to me in so many ways. And now, I've got something to tell you. The Benjamins! I've been wanting to get here for a while. And full disclosure, this is season 2 for me here. Everything you've seen up to this point was last year. I fell behind making videos. As you all have figured out already, I love adventure. And so, when sailing season was over, fall was getting ready to set in, I loaded up my Jeep with my mountain bike, my motorcycle, and my skis. And I headed out for some new adventures for the off-season. All comes down to one thing. How uncomfortable do you want to make yourself? And I came across, well, some wildlife that was friendly and not so friendly. In South Dakota, there are warnings against trying to pet the fluffy cows. And honestly, I didn't even try to annoy them with my motorcycle. They were just in that kind of a mood and they could sense that I was frightened. So they chased me. That was fun. That wasn't the last experience I had of buffaloes making a statement. We have ourselves a bit of a standoff here. I always feel at home on the water. I also feel at home in the mountains, and I just enjoy being surrounded by beauty. I found some places where I really felt I belonged, and there were a few places where I guess I felt I was a little bit over my head, especially on my mountain bike. I picked up a job as a ski instructor. That put me behind forever. I worked more than I intended to. I had a great time. I enjoyed it working at Mission Ridge in Washington, but I just really fell behind in making videos, so thanks for sticking with me. We won't be stuck sitting on the side of the road for too long, and I promise I'll never get too far afield, and I'll never be too far from the water. So, thanks again for joining me. This is 2026. And now I'll let you know what we're up to. Hey, we are no longer in the North Channel in Canada. We have made our way west to the St. Mary's River. We're headed up to the Soo Locks in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, and Michigan. And this is going to be our season. We're going to have fun doing this. But we're starting out with some drama. One should always take favorable winds whenever possible on Lake Superior. So we want those. We've got winds coming from the southeast, taking us up and across a couple of points there. Problem is that storms are coming in a couple of days. I could wait out the storms, but then I don't have favorable winds. Not only will I not have favorable winds, I'll have unfavorable winds from the northwest. So this is what we're going to do. There are 2 lock options. One is on the Canadian side, the recreational lock, which is what everybody prefers to use. They're just easier, they're set up for recreational boaters. The problem is those locks are only open from 10 in the morning until 5 in the evening. 10 in the morning? So I could anchor nearby, maybe I get through there at 11 and I'm trying to outrun storms starting at 11 in the morning? That's not good. The American side, Americans being Americans, our locks are open 24 hours, of course. But that's not a criticism of the Canadians, it's just the way it is. The American side is set up for the commercial traffic, and there is a small commercial traffic lock that is open 24 hours, and I'm inclined to try to get through there tonight. Today is a Saturday. I've got storms on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And of course, the problem would be if I missed the favorable wind and then the forecast changed and I didn't have to worry too much about the storms. So what I'm going to do is gamble a bit. I'm going to try to get through the locks as quickly as I can, anchor if I have to, depending on what time it is when I get through there, and then try to get as far west on Lake Superior as I can, eventually getting into Marquette for this first stage. and go from there. But either I go tonight through the night, or I get a really, really, really early start tomorrow. But getting a start tomorrow, you know, at an eastern point, trying to go west at like noon, that's bad news. So that's the drama for today from the St. Mary's River. Thanks for joining me. We're going to have a great time this summer, the summer of 2026. Lake Superior. Let's see if we can get to Isle Royale, and see a moose.